My beloved child, I see the deepest, most hidden stillness within your heart, the place where words cannot reach, where pain has no name. So often you silently brace yourself in the darkness, holding tightly to wounds you dare not share, fearing that no one will understand, or that if you open your heart, they will look at you with pity rather than compassion. You've learned to be silent, to carry pain within every breath, every restless sleep. But my child, even if the whole world turns its back on you, even if you cannot utter a word, I, the one who formed you, hear every cry whispered from the depths of your soul. The pain you carry is not confined to body or emotions. It seeps into your spirit, etches itself into your memory, carving deep fissures in the core of who you are. And I know, intimately, every single detail. Not a single tear you've shed has been overlooked. Not one sleepless night has gone unnoticed by me. Every silent scream, every moment when you were collapsing inside but kept a brave face, heaven has witnessed it all with absolute understanding. But my child, what you cannot yet see is this: your pain has never been forsaken. It is not in vain, it is not forgotten. It creates ripples, not to drown you, but to awaken souls who are watching you even from afar, even in silence. There are those who, out of love for you, have wept in prayer. There are hearts that have been stirred by the resilience in your eyes amid suffering. There are people who, seeing your choice to remain kind in pain, have begun to question the coldness in their own hearts. And all of this is proof that you are not invisible, that your life is creating impact in this world in ways you have yet to realize. I have placed these people in your life, not by coincidence, but with divine intention. Perhaps they do not say much, but they feel. Perhaps they cannot carry your pain for you, but they are present. And that presence, at the right place and time, is my hand reaching out to you through flesh and blood. And if you pay attention, you'll see, many times just when you were about to let go, someone showed up. A message, a glance, a small act, as a sign from heaven that you were never alone. But beyond all people, I am waiting for one thing. I am waiting for you to speak. Not through rehearsed or memorized prayers, not through ornate or polished words, but through the raw, honest cry of a weary child. Speak to me as to a father and say, "Yes, I need." That's all. No long sentences, no striving, just a short, sincere whisper from the heart, powerful enough to stir all of heaven. Because when you acknowledge your need, that is when the door of grace swings wide open. I do not seek perfection. I seek honesty. I know you've been strong for a long time. I know you've grown used to carrying everything, to enduring. But you were not created to fight alone like this forever. I did not design you to live apart from my embrace. I did not give you a tender heart so you would hide it behind walls of ice. Your heart, with all its frailty, sensitivity, and longing, is what I treasure most. And when you say, "I need," I know you are preparing your soul for a mighty intervention, not from man, but from heaven itself. And now, as you have whispered to me from the depths of your soul, that you need, that you are weary, that you long for something beyond what this world can offer, let me open your eyes to a sacred, profound part of this journey. The love of those I have quietly placed in your life. My beloved child, there are those who walk beside you, not with resounding words or grand gestures, but with a quiet presence that is no less steadfast. Some have chosen to love you without any apparent reason. They seek no benefit for themselves, no recognition, no word of thanks. They are simply moved by something deep within, a stirring that defies logic, to stay, to wait, to intercede, and to endure with you the burdens you carry. I am the one who ignited that flame within them. When someone chooses silence over demanding explanations, when they pray for you in the dark without ever needing you to know, when they sense the pain in your eyes, even when you speak nothing, that is no coincidence. It is the living expression of compassion sown from heaven. It is true love, not one that comes to possess, but to accompany, not to control, but to uphold. It is the embodiment of mercy that I myself have placed in their hearts, so that through them you may know you are not alone. You may believe no one understands you. You may think no one sees the storm within you that you wrestle with each day. But, my child, someone has felt it all, not because they have some supernatural gift, but because I have allowed their heart to beat in rhythm with yours. When you sob in silence, they too lie sleepless. When you feel yourself slipping into the pit of doubt, they find themselves on their knees praying for you, as if they were falling into that darkness themselves. And when you think you're about to collapse, it is their intercession, offered through tears, that becomes the pillar holding you up. Even when you can't explain how you're still standing. Do you know that someone wept for you last night? Not out of anger, nor disappointment. They cried because they felt what you did not say. They saw what others overlooked, and they pleaded with me, not for their own sake, but for yours, that you might be relieved, healed, restored. They did not weep from weakness, but from a love that is real, a love that flows from me, poured into their hearts like living water, so they could love you the way I love you. My child, I do not tell you this to make you feel indebted or burdened with obligation. I do not come to place another moral weight upon your shoulders. On the contrary, I share this with you so that you may understand you have never been alone. Whether in a crowd or a quiet room, whether in your strength or your weakest hour, there are souls, not sent by man, but stirred by me, who are watching, interceding, and silently bearing part of your pain. I allow this so that you may know true love is always present, even when it's not loud. And when you feel you have no one left, in that very moment, there is a soul crying out to me on your behalf. There is a heart beating in sync with your sorrow. That is a sacred thing. For such love does not come from this world, but from heaven. It demands nothing. It complains not. It seeks no reward. It exists like a candle burning quietly in the dark, just enough to keep hope alive within you. And the beautiful truth is this: you too will become such a person for someone else, at the appointed time I have chosen. The pain you once bore, the empathy you once received, will become the vessel that carries anointing oil. You will know how to hear another's sigh without words. You will know how to simply be present without offering answers. You will know how to intercede through tears, just as someone once did for you. True love is not found in grand promises or extravagant declarations. True love is when someone chooses compassion over judgment, when they choose to stay rather than walk away, when they don't need to know the entire story but still choose to love, to trust, and to stand in the gap as a keeper of hope for a soul that is trembling. Love like that is profoundly sacred, for it reflects a fragment of my heart on earth. So, my beloved child, be at peace, knowing you are not a solitary soul adrift in this vast world. It is not only I, the one who is nearer to you than your very breath, who walks with you, but also those I have divinely appointed to walk alongside you in the most difficult chapters of your journey. They are living signs that my promise remains unbroken. I will never leave you, nor forsake you. They are the tangible expression of my presence, revealed through an embrace, through a silent gaze, through a patient heart that gives without demanding anything in return. Therefore, if today your heart feels dry and empty, remember that someone has chosen to love you with the compassion that flows from the heart of God. If you feel undeserving, look again. Someone has shed tears on your behalf, not because of your flaws, but because they love you in the light of truth. And if ever you have felt alone in the darkness, let your soul be still. For I am here, and I have already positioned someone beside you at the appointed time, in just the right way, to whisper something quiet yet deeply true into your spirit. You are not alone. And if from the deepest part of your soul you can whisper just one more phrase, "Yes, Lord, I receive that love," then in that very moment, something sacred will begin to unfold. Your heart will open to the fullness of my presence, and you will come to know, not merely in thought, but through living experience, that you are loved, supported, and kept safe by my own hand through the very people I have placed in your life. Oh, my dear child, if you are reading these words in a moment of exhaustion, confusion, or even on the brink of letting everything go, then please pause, take a deep breath, and allow your heart to listen, because these are not just words. This is a divine invitation, a powerful message from the depths of my heart, the heart of the one who created your soul, reaching out to you in the whirlwind of the battle you are silently facing. You may not recognize it yet, but every word I speak to you now carries within it a power capable of shifting the very course of what you thought had reached its end. The truth is, the battle you are fighting is not only taking place around you, it is waging within you, in the thoughts that haunt you, in the quiet fears, in the sleepless nights, in the fragile moments where you feel like a forgotten fragment in a vast and indifferent world. But hear me, child. You are not a discarded piece. You are a vital part of an eternal design that I am carefully weaving with threads of life, faith, and divine purpose. And it is in this very moment, a moment so easily overlooked amidst the noise, the distractions, and the indifference of the world, that I am revealing something to you. I am extending an invitation to step into a place where pain will no longer have the final word over your story. But, my child, if you walk away now, if you allow your mind to be swept up by the clamor of the world, if you close the door of your heart just before the light has a chance to break in, you may miss the very thing that could heal your heart. Do not imprison your soul in silence. Do not isolate yourself from the love that is reaching out to you. For I, the one who formed you, never created you to dwell in the shadows of loneliness. I designed you for connection, with me, with those I have placed around you, and with your own self, in truth and in freedom. When you lock your heart away and pretend to be strong while quietly breaking inside, you not only hurt yourself, but also reject the healing I long to pour into your life. Let my love reach into the deepest parts of you. Let it melt away the walls you've built to protect yourself from being wounded again. This love does not come to judge you, nor to demand immediate transformation, but to lift you up, to wrap you in its embrace, and to give you space. Space to breathe, to weep, and to heal. I am the refuge for your weary soul, the shade in the heat of the day. the hand reaching out when you feel you have nothing left to hold on to. And it's not only me. Do you realize I have placed people in your life, even if you don't always recognize them, who are being used as vessels of my love? They are not there to replace me, but to reflect glimpses of my heart so that you might see me more clearly. These are the ones who stay when you go silent, who care even when you seem distant, who continue to pray for you when you've run out of words to pray for yourself. Do not push them away. Do not think you're bothering them. Open your heart. Let them love you with a kind of compassion that does not pressure, does not calculate, but simply stays. My child, I know you may have trusted before and been betrayed. Perhaps you've shared your heart and been wounded. But do not let those past experiences rob you of your belief in what is good. Do not let old pain blind you to the new thing I am doing. True love does not break your heart. True love comes from me, and I do not bring it to cause you harm. Let this love become a covering that warms you, a strong arm that lifts you when your legs begin to tremble. Listen for my voice, beloved. I do not speak through noise. I do not shout above the storm. I whisper within. When you are still, when your heart is open, when you are willing to release your grip and stop trying to control everything, I am here. Not far, not even a little. Closer than your next breath. So close that even a silent cry to me is enough. I've already answered. I have never taken my eyes off you, even when you turned away. I have never forgotten a single moment you wept. Every silent sob, every whispered plea, though no one else heard, I heard them all. The battle you're walking through, even if no one else knows or understands, I do. And no, it has not gone unnoticed. It has not been overlooked. I am not just aware of it, I am moving. I am intervening. I am preparing a shift. Maybe you don't feel it yet. Maybe everything still seems uncertain. But I promise you this. A turning point is coming. A shift. A door. A new path. A light breaking forth in the place that once felt lifeless and still. Breakthrough is not far now, my precious child. It is closer than you imagine. Maybe you've waited too long, prayed too hard, grown weary from hoping and hurting, but I urge you, do not let go now. Do not walk away from your faith just because you're exhausted. It is in the moment you feel you have nothing left that heaven moves with the greatest power. And do you know this? I do not wait for you to be okay before I step in. I do not require a grand display of faith. I only ask that you stay, that your heart remains open, that you are still willing to say, Lord, I need you. I will do what no one else can do. I will heal wounds you thought could never be healed. I will restore what you believed was lost forever. I will breathe life into dreams you once buried deep, believing they could never come true. I will make a way in the wilderness and bring rivers to the barren land. And it won't come in noise or spectacle. It will come in gentleness, like the morning light slipping quietly through the cracks after a long, dark night. My beloved child, do not close your heart any longer. Do not lock yourself away in a world of silent endurance. Reach out, even if it's just a little. Speak, even if it's only a faint whisper. I do not ask for much. I only seek the truth within your heart. For when you offer that truth, I will step in, and once I step in, nothing remains the same. Everything is transformed. Every wound finds its purpose, and every pain becomes a living testimony to the power of my love. I speak. It really would find its purpose, and Every pain becomes a living testimony to the power of my love. If your heart is now resonating with a deep stirring as you read these words, if it feels as though each line is speaking directly into a sacred moment where your soul is yearning for confirmation, then know this is not a mere coincidence. It is my call to you, a holy wind carrying the breath of my spirit, gently reaching out to comfort your soul. Everything that is unfolding has been divinely orchestrated, and it is I who have carefully guided you to the very place where your spiritual destiny is waiting to be revealed. When you lift up your gratitude to me, whether it's a whispered thanks in the dark or a silent tear that falls amidst the chaos of life, you are walking the path of those who are brave in faith. It is not merely an emotional response, but a powerful act that reverberates in the spiritual realm. To give thanks in the midst of trial is to declare that you trust in what your eyes have not yet seen, and your heart has not fully comprehended, but your soul knows with certainty. I am working all things together for your greatest good. I see every small effort you've quietly sown. I see every moment you've chosen hope over bitterness. Every time you've kept silent to avoid hurting someone. Every time you've opened your heart to love, even when you yourself were breaking. These things are not meaningless, my beloved. They are sacred seeds planted in the soil of faithfulness, and through your faith and your gratitude, they will take root and grow, returning to you not only multiplied, but in ways your limited understanding could never fully imagine. I have not forgotten the dreams you tucked away out of fear of disappointment. I remember every whispered prayer you cried in the night when no one else knew your heart was breaking. I saw the moments when you wanted to give up but still chose to rise and take even the smallest step forward. Those were the moments that moved heaven. What seemed like weakness was, in truth, the fiercest strength in your spiritual journey. And now, I am breathing a new wind over your life. You may not yet see clear signs of change, but know that the ground beneath you is shifting. Limitations are being broken. Doors that once seemed sealed are beginning to tremble. The heavy veil that blocked my light is being lifted, piece by piece. Every breath you take in trust, every decision to believe, is striking a blow against the invisible chains the enemy once used to hold your soul captive. You are no longer alone on this journey. You are walking with me, wrapped in my holy presence and my unshakable love. What you thought was lost, what you believed was dead, the years you considered wasted, I will restore them fully and gloriously, and not only will I return what was taken, but I will open a new season, one in which what you receive will go far beyond what you ever asked for or imagined. For I am the one who always gives beyond expectation. And my child, do not be afraid if everything around you is changing. Do not be dismayed when the old foundations begin to crumble. For it is in the breaking down that I am rebuilding an eternal work from the ground up. It is through what is being stripped away that I am preparing you to be clothed in the glory that has belonged to you since the beginning. Sometimes you must lose what you thought was best in order to receive what I know is far greater, and you only need one thing. Never stop being grateful, never stop trusting. For gratitude is the language of the soul that connects directly with my heart. You are being positioned for a great shift. Promises once buried will come alive again. The things you wrote in tears I will seal with miracles. The silent seasons of endurance were not in vain. Every moment of pain in which you chose to lift your eyes to me will bear sweet fruit in the coming season. Prepare your heart for a sacred harvest. Keep the eyes of your faith wide open, for what I am about to do will leave even those around you in awe. Do not let today's weariness cause you to let go of what I am preparing for tomorrow. Every act of gratitude, no matter how small, is a declaration that you believe I am doing something good, and that becomes the very foundation upon which I move powerfully in your life. Not because I need your gratitude to exist, but because gratitude readies your soul to receive the fullness of blessing. My beloved child, now is the time to rise, not by your own strength, but by the power of mine flowing through every breath, every decision, and every step you take. Continue to give thanks, whether in the light or in the midst of darkness. Let gratitude become the flame that warms your soul through the cold night, and the light that guides you when dawn breaks. For the dawn is coming, my beloved, and it is coming faster than you think. I am very near, and everything I have promised you will no longer be delayed. Your harvest season is approaching. The seeds you once sowed in silence, with tears and faith, are now breaking through the soil and rising. A bountiful season awaits you, not just in material blessings, but in the fullness of your soul, where you will know without doubt that your journey was not in vain. You trusted, you obeyed, you were faithful. And now, I reward you with the living presence of myself and every good thing beyond your expectations. And now, as you are learning to trust me with every step, open the door of your heart to receive the love I have delicately sent through specific people in your life. Do not reject them. Do not close your heart to the arms stretched toward you out of fear of being hurt again. I know you have been disappointed, abandoned, and you've placed your trust in the wrong hands before. But my child, do not let the past cause you to reject the precious gifts the present is offering. Do not let old wounds steal the chance for resurrection from the hands I've chosen to walk beside you. The love I give to you is not only revealed in sacred moments of quiet prayer, but also made tangible through eyes that understand, arms that comfort, and words that are simple yet sincere, from the ones I have placed in your life at the exact time you needed them most. This is not a coincidence, nor a random twist of fate. It is my hand working in the unseen, weaving together a network of hearts that know how to love, so that they may hold you up when you feel you cannot go on. I did not create you to live in isolation, to carry every burden alone. You don't need to prove your strength by hiding your tears or rejecting help. In truth, you are stronger when you dare to admit that you need others. You grow more mature when you allow yourself to lean on the honest embrace of the community I have placed around you. It takes courage to let others step into the hidden places of your heart. It takes faith to believe that I can use others as instruments of healing. Do not let the fear of being hurt rob you of the chance to be healed. Do not let silent pride, masked as independence, cause you to miss what I long to do through those who love you. Allow yourself to be a little vulnerable, so others may have the chance to love you rightly. Let me use them as a refreshing stream that waters the dry ground of your soul. There are things in your heart that cannot be healed by silence and solitude alone. There are wounds that are only healed when someone sees them, touches them with compassion, and embraces them with a love that does not judge. That is where my grace becomes most evident. In connection, in moments that seem small, yet carry the power to deeply transform. Love does not grow in isolation. It grows in community, in sharing, in the faithful presence of one another. I do not promise that everyone you meet will be perfect, but I do promise that among them, there are those whom I have anointed to bring you new hope, new light, and lessons that will mature you in true love. I will use those very relationships to soothe the empty spaces in your heart, to mend the parts of you that once shattered from lack of love. And you will see that I never abandon you. I have simply been patiently waiting for you to be brave enough to open your heart. You may believe that strength means needing no one, but true strength is found in the giving and receiving of love. When you allow others into your world, to share your joys and carry your sorrows, that is when my grace begins to bloom and flow through every bond. It is that very love which will nourish your soul, ease your old wounds, and rekindle what you thought had died within your heart. I see the fractures within you, the places where you were betrayed, where you were left behind, where you once declared, "I need no one." But my dear child, I did not come to judge you. I came to bind up those wounds. I did not come to make you strong in loneliness, but to bring you back into the arms of love, friendship, and sacred companionship. I am doing a new thing. I am placing new people on your path, people who will not leave you when you are weak, people who will not judge you when you voice your fears or failures, people who will see your worth even when you feel you have nothing left to offer. Receive them as gifts from me. Let these genuine relationships become the vessels through which my blessings flow into your life. You will feel the difference when you step out of your shell of isolation and into the arms of the community I have prepared for you. That is where I will restore what seemed broken. That is where I will replace the darkness with light. That is where I will drain the despair from your heart and fill it with a hope that never fades. And you will no longer feel lost, because within the arms of love, you will see me. I am not far away. I am present in every embrace, every prayer, every act of kindness extended to you. You may have once walked alone, but now, let me lead you into a new journey, a journey of healing through love, of restoration through relationship, of renewal through community. Trust me once more. Open your heart, and you will see that my grace is waiting for you, woven through cords of love that have never been severed, only waiting for your courage to step into them. My beloved, I have seen every silent tear that has fallen when no one else around you knew. I have witnessed you kneeling in the quiet of the night, heartbroken, not knowing which way to go. You did not merely pray. You cried out from the deepest places of your soul, longing to be heard, longing to be rescued, hoping that somewhere, somehow there is one who understands the anguish you carry. And now, the words echoing in your heart are not by chance. They are part of a response from my heart, a sacred resonance from eternity, sent so that you may know, I have heard you. You have longed to be fully understood. You have desired not just advice, but deep, soul-level empathy. Eyes that see beyond your exterior, into unnamed pain and hidden wounds you thought no one could ever comprehend. But my child, I am the one who sees even what is left unsaid. I hear the cries uttered in silence and feel the fears too heavy for words. There is nothing in your heart unknown to me, no pain I treat lightly, and for this very reason, today I come to give you a divine affirmation. You are not invisible. You have not been forgotten. I have always been here. When you open your heart, not just with words, but with deep and sincere longing, you step into the sacred space where I can touch you without barriers. When you no longer hide anything, when you dare to place both your weaknesses and your dreams upon the sacred altar of faith, that is when you truly open the door for my life to pour in. and you will witness the wonder. Comfort will not come as something distant, but will flood into you like cool, living water refreshing parched ground. You will feel me not as a distant being dwelling in the heights, but as a father who draws near, bends low, and gently wipes every tear from your cheek. I do not promise that life will always be easy, but I promise that you will never have to face the hardship alone. When you feel too weak to take another step, it is then that I am carrying you in my arms. When your soul is weary and darkness surrounds you, it is then that my light is quietly seeping in to illuminate even the coldest, most hidden corners. I am not slow. I do not forget. I arrive at the perfect time, always on time, with a love that never runs dry. This message is not merely a note, it is the heartbeat of my heart. You are not reading these words by accident. Your soul is stirring because this is the voice of your origin. This is the sign you have long awaited, the gentle yet powerful whisper to remind you. You are not lost. Your prayers have not vanished into emptiness. Every cry from your heart has been heard by me with reverence and deep love. When you quiet your mind, when you stop searching for answers in a chaotic world and turn inward to listen with your spirit, you will realize that I have always been speaking. I have always been sending signals, through what you call coincidence, through the people I send at just the right time, even through moments that seem meaningless but are filled with divine orchestration. And now, as you read these very words, I want you to know you are ready. Ready to step into a new journey, one not led by control, anxiety, or solitary striving, but by trust. Ready to lay down the burdens and receive peace. Ready to embrace a restoration that does not come from the outside, but flows from within, from the place where your soul is fully connected to me. It is that openness of heart that becomes the gateway for my guidance to permeate. No more doubt, no more confusion, only certainty in my love. I know you're weary. I know you've hoped many times only to be disappointed. But today I invite you to try again, not in your own strength, but in rest within me. Let go of what you cannot control. Let me do what only I can do. I don't need you to be perfect to deserve my guidance. I only need a willing heart. And I see in you a genuine longing, a sincerity that has endured many trials. So, my child, keep listening. Keep your heart open. Don't rush to find answers the old way. Don't panic when things are still unclear. The comfort I give is not an empty promise, but a living presence that will walk with you each day. You don't need to know every next step. You only need to know that I am walking with you, every beat, every breath, and that alone is enough for you to walk in peace. Take my hand. Let me lead you through the long nights and bring you to the place where light never fades. The journey ahead will not be easy, but it will be more radiant than ever, because this time you will not walk alone. This time you will walk in unfailing love, and that is what you've longed for since the beginning. A place to be understood, a hand that never lets go, a heart forever open to you. I am that place. And I have always been here, waiting to hold you. Beloved child, as the night retreats and the first light of morning touches the world, I urgently call you to begin each day not with worry, not with haste, but with a deep connection to me, the one who waits for you in the stillness of dawn. Before the world pulls you into 1,000 demands, before your mind is flooded by unfinished tasks and the uncertainties ahead, choose to pause, just one moment, but enough for heaven to touch earth. When you turn your heart toward me, even before your feet touch the cold floor, before the ticking clock stirs your daily cares, let your heart be the first place where I am welcomed. Close your eyes for a second. Breathe gently and allow my presence to wrap around your soul like a soft garment, covering every trembling part. In that instant, when you become aware that I am here, closer than breath, you will know that nothing in this world can shake you when you begin your day with me. I know. There are mornings when you wake up with a nameless weariness. Perhaps yesterday left wounds yet to heal, dreams unfinished, or words that still ache in your heart. But it is in days like these that gratitude becomes more vital than ever. Not because everything is fine, but because in the hardest moments, gratitude unveils its true power. Let gratitude flow from the deepest part of your soul, not because of circumstances, but because I am the one who never changes. Offer me a word of thanks, not because you have everything, but because you have me. And when you do, you lay a solid foundation for the day ahead. You shift the course of your day by beginning it in spiritual connection, and that very act will open doors of wonder you never knew existed. Gratitude is not the denial of pain, but a resolute declaration that I am greater than any hardship you face. When you give thanks in the midst of uncertainty, when you praise even when there's nothing left to hold on to, you are doing something that heaven hears and blesses. For that is the deepest trust. Believing in me, not because circumstances are favorable, but because you know I am working, even when you cannot yet see. Do you know that a single heartfelt thank you can shake the gates of heaven? Because such gratitude does not flow from the lips, but from a heart once crushed, now choosing to rise and say, I still believe. Every morning you choose gratitude over anxiety. You hand me the authority to move in your day in the fullest way. Not because I need to be reminded that I am good, but because you need to be reminded that you are not alone, that there is still light in the darkness, and still a way in the wilderness. Do not think that I seek long prayers or eloquent words. I seek a sincere heart. A quiet whisper of thank you in tearful eyes moves me deeply. A weary breath followed by please be with me today is enough for me to send angels to guard you. It is not formality I desire, but honesty. Not perfection, but presence. So, my child, let each day be a small song lifted from your soul, even if that song is sometimes only a silence full of emotion. Do not wait until all is well to give thanks. Do not wait until you feel strong to come near me. Come when you are weak. Thank me even when you don't know why, because it is in that very moment that you unlock a flood of unstoppable blessings. I will walk with you throughout the day, but I long to walk with you from the very first moment when your eyes are still heavy with sleep, so I may give you the peace the world cannot offer. I want to be the first thought in your mind and the last rest in your heart. I want to be your breath, the beat in your chest, the light in your steps. But for that to happen, you must choose me first, not with your schedule, but with your love. Begin the day as though embarking on a sacred journey, because truly it is. Each day is an invitation to come closer to me, to hear my voice more clearly, to live more deeply in the love I prepared for you before time began. And if you choose to step into this day with gratitude and awareness of my presence, you will not be the same as yesterday. You will be transformed from within, quietly, yet profoundly. My beloved child, I am waiting for you at that dawn, not with empty hands, but with overflowing grace, comfort, wisdom, and strength for each moment. Do not let anything steal the opportunity to begin your day in holiness and power. Choose me. Be thankful. And then watch me do the extraordinary through every seemingly ordinary moment of your day. I am here, and I will always be the best beginning to everything in your life. And now, my dearly loved one, after your soul has been watered with gratitude in the fresh morning light, after your heart has opened to let me enter this day with you, now hold fast to one eternal truth I long to engrave upon the depths of your spirit. No trial is meaningless, no tear is wasted, and no season of hardship is ever in vain in the journey I have set apart just for you. Whenever you face suffering, pause and take a deep breath. Do not see those hardships as walls blocking your path, but as mirrors reflecting the true nature of your soul, a place where you can clearly see where you stand, what you believe, and whose image is shaping you. These trials do not come to destroy you, but to refine you. They are the fire of my love, a fire that does not consume you, but burns away what no longer belongs to you. Every hardship is a skillful hand, chiseling you into the most complete version of yourself, a creation made in my image. You often ask, why me? But oh, my child, I chose you not because you are weak, but because within you lies a mighty potential to become a bearer of light in the darkness. You are chosen because you are fertile ground for me to plant eternal seeds. Patience, faithfulness, mercy, and an unshakable faith. The difficult seasons you have walked through are the very foundation for the field of grace that is about to bloom. You have never strayed from my hand, even when you felt you had nothing left to hold on to. When you begin to believe that nothing happens outside of my holy intent, when you understand that even lost steps are being divinely arranged to lead you home, then you will no longer live burdened by why, but be uplifted by for what purpose. And you will begin to see the world through new eyes, not judging by appearance, but discerning what is unfolding in the sacred depths. And my child, blessings do not always come in the form of good things. Sometimes they come as a surprise, a long season of waiting, or even a closed door. But every blessing, no matter what form it takes, is a step drawing you closer to my true nature within you, where love, peace, wisdom, and light flow endlessly. Embrace this understanding as a treasure, that you are not living merely for yourself, but your life is a wave of influence. When you choose to trust in adversity, to love amidst the wounds, to walk in light amid great darkness, you do not just transform yourself, you transform the atmosphere around you. You become a carrier of my presence, a spark that ignites the hearts of others. And even when the world believes it has reached the pinnacle of wisdom, thinking it can control everything through finite intellect and complex reasoning, you, my beloved, will carry a higher, deeper, and more refined understanding, the illumination that comes from my living presence within you. This understanding needs no degrees to validate it, no reputation to affirm it, for it carries the fragrance of truth on its own. It is a knowing that makes you quiet yet powerful, humble yet full of authority. It is a knowing that does not react out of emotion, but responds with mercy. As you walk in this understanding, you will clearly see what others are still lost in darkness to perceive. You will hear my whisper even in the stillest of circumstances. You will recognize profound meaning in what the world considers insignificant. And then, you will understand that it is intimacy with me that brings true wisdom, the very light that enables you to discern what is right in a chaotic world. Live as one who carries the light, not to show off, but to illuminate the path, not to overpower others with your voice, but to whisper and remind them that there is still a way that leads to life. Do not fear being misunderstood, nor tremble when you must stand alone. For you are never truly alone when you walk with me. I will always be the voice within your heart, the strength in your steps, the light in your eyes, and the love that never leaves your soul. And in the end, my child, let this divine understanding transform you day by day. Do not resist the shaping process of my hand. Do not fight against the hard seasons I allow, for they are the very foundation that will lift you higher, teach you to love deeper, and live more fully. Be a living testimony to those who have lost their way, so that when they look at your life, they may see the reflection of me, not through eloquent words, but through your unshakable faith, your steadfast love, and the way you live with unwavering trust. My beloved child, after all I have poured into your soul, confidence, divine insight, deep gratitude, and a renewed perspective on the trials that are shaping you, now I call you into deeper waters, into that sacred place where your heart touches mine. In that place, what I long for most is not your achievements, nor your sacrifices, but the vibrant joy flowing through your soul each day, born of the full awareness that you are living in my grace. What I desire most is not your perfection, but your unshakable joy in knowing you belong to me. I do not seek a soul worn out from striving to be worthy, but a heart that smiles because it knows it is already fully accepted, even in its broken places. My longing is that each morning, when you open your eyes, your soul overflows with joy, not because everything has become easy, but because you know I am still with you, in every breath, every step. Let your joy be independent of circumstances. Let your peace not come from having everything under control, but from the certainty that I am in control of everything. I give you a freedom deeper than outward liberty, the release from the invisible burdens you've carried for far too long. Anxiety, inadequacy, fear of being hurt, and the relentless voice in your mind that says, "You haven't done enough, you're not good enough, you must keep pushing to be worthy, my child." Let it all go. Let those chains dissolve in the light of my grace. True freedom does not come from what you can accomplish, but from believing that I alone can liberate your soul. I did not come to lead you into a new prison of harsher spiritual demands, but to break every shackle that has worn you down on your journey to find worth. I do not need you to prove anything. I only need you to know that you are chosen, forgiven, and loved with an unconditional love. And when you truly believe this, you will begin to live with a free soul, free to love, to forgive, to rejoice, and to simply be. Start each day as if it were a fresh gift. Let your heart be filled with wonder like a child awaiting a miracle. No matter how much sorrow or failure yesterday held, today is still a new beginning. I gave you this morning not so you could keep enduring, but so you could truly live. Let your soul feel light. Release every burden you unknowingly carried through the night. Breathe out all your worries and doubts, and breathe in the faith that today something good is waiting for you. Rise, not with a soul trembling in fear, but with a steadfast mind, knowing you are upheld by the very one who created all things. Step forward not with feet that merely carry your body, but with steps that carry light. Every step, every word, every action is a chance for me to move through you. And you don't need to do anything grand, just walk in trust, and I will do the rest. Do not let old fears bind your soul any longer. Do not let former doubts pull you backward, as if the past could define your worth today. I have entered your timeline to shatter those chains. I have walked through the night with you, so I could lead you into a new dawn. You do not need to relive the same old days with the same worn emotions. Each day is an invitation to live differently, to believe differently, to encounter me in a new way. And when you begin to live in that freedom, when you truly believe you are no longer bound by fear, by the eyes of others, by the weight of the past, you will feel a new life rising within you. You will find yourself loving life more, walking lighter, forgiving more easily, and most of all, loving yourself with the same love I have poured over you since the beginning. True liberation doesn't just lighten your soul, it radiates through your life into the lives of those around you. They will see the light in your eyes, the peace in your steps, and they will long to know the source of that life. They will ask you, how can you still hope in the midst of hardship? How can you forgive instead of holding resentment? How can you love life so completely? And you will smile, not to prove anything, but to share that this is the fruit of a life being daily filled by a love that never withdraws. So, my child, do not live imprisoned by old emotions. Do not let the whispers of doubt continue to occupy space in your mind. Rise with the joy of simply being alive. Welcome each morning, as if it were a divine appointment between you and me. Let me lift every burden, so you may step into the new day with an open soul, a hopeful heart, and a spirit anchored in this truth. You have been set free. You have been chosen to live in freedom, and you are holy and eternally loved, right now and forevermore. And my beloved child, after you have walked daily in freedom and fullness of joy, after you have learned to lay down your burdens and live in the lightness of a soul set free, now let me lead you deeper into a truth full of power and hope, that I am silently crafting something far greater than anything you've ever dared to dream. There are things that go beyond human sight and imagination, but they are never beyond my reach or my heart. What I am doing in your life, what I ordained before time began, is so vast that if you could see it in its fullness right now, your heart would overflow with tears of awe, wonder, and profound gratitude. You may have thought the deepest desires of your heart were the highest good, but my child, perhaps what you've longed for is only a faint shadow of what I am quietly preparing. Sometimes you ask for something small, only because you've never dared to imagine that something greater could be yours. But I am the one who surpasses all limits. I do not give half measures. I am not one who withholds blessing as if you must earn it perfectly. No, I am the giver of life, the endless wellspring of kindness, and I delight in pouring out abundantly on those who are mine. If you have ever thought that waiting is a season of abandonment, today I want you to understand that it is, in fact, a sacred season. In the moments when you think you are standing still, I am working wonders deep within. While the world around you rushes to chase results, I am inviting you into a holy process, the process of formation. I am not merely aligning external circumstances. I am shaping your very soul, so that when the appointed time comes, you will not only receive the blessing, but be mature enough to carry it. I am refining the desires within your heart, gently but profoundly. Perhaps before, you longed for something because it promised satisfaction or seemed to fill the empty places within. But I love you too deeply to give you what you long for before you are healed. I treasure you too much to place you into something great while your soul still carries cracks. So I choose to use this waiting season as a refining fire, teaching you to long for what is right, to love what is holy, and to release what only brings fleeting satisfaction. You may feel confused as you watch the doors you've hoped for remain shut. You may have thought I was silent, but my silence is never my absence. It is the space I create so your soul can hear more clearly, so your faith has room to grow strong. Like a potter carefully shaping every detail before unveiling his masterpiece, I am fine-tuning every part of your life, both what you see and what you do not yet know. And in that very process, something miraculous is taking place. You are being transformed. The things you once deemed important begin to lose their grip, and in their place rises a holy longing to live according to my purpose. That's when you begin to understand. True blessing is not merely what flows to you, but what flows from you to touch the lives of others. You will no longer only pray for what brings ease to your life, but you will begin to hunger to become one who brings life, light, and healing to other souls. You don't need to fully understand the entire plan I have for you, for if you saw the whole picture, you would no longer need faith. But I invite you to trust that this plan is good, perfect, and written by love itself. I never begin a work I do not intend to finish. And when I begin to move in your life, you can be sure of one thing. The outcome will far exceed anything your mind has ever dared to imagine. Do not let the waiting wither your faith. Let it become the soil where new life begins to sprout. Believe that while you are still praying in silence, heaven is moving in divine orchestration. Every word I have spoken will not fall to the ground. I have not forgotten you. I have not missed your timing. Everything you are walking through is necessary to equip you for the greater thing I am preparing. Every detour, every delay, every trial, they are all weaving together a majestic tapestry where you will come to see I am not just giving you a blessing, I am making you into the blessing. So continue living with joyful expectation. Let your eyes shine with hope and your heart be wide open with faith, because the day will come when you behold what I have been forming in the quiet years. And in that moment, you will fall in awestruck wonder, not just because of what I have done, but because you will realize I was never far, never forgetful, and I never stopped loving you, not for a single second. Beloved child, when you learn to believe that I am quietly preparing something for you that far exceeds all your dreams, when you begin to live with a soul full of expectation and a heart brimming with hope, then now, I am calling you to take one step deeper into trust. Etch this unshakable truth into your heart, that no power in heaven or on earth can touch you unless I allow it. And if I allow something to happen, then know this with certainty: it is never without meaning. No event ever escapes my hand. No wound reaches you without first passing through the filter of my loving permission and perfect wisdom. This does not mean I cause the pain, but that I allow trials as part of a greater plan to shape you into my image. Sometimes, what appears to be the enemy's blow becomes the very tool I use to forge your soul stronger, more sensitive, more humble. And you will come to see that it is not the enemy prevailing. It is I who am writing a story of triumph, right in the midst of the testing ground. Hold fast to this truth with sacred reverence, as though it were a precious jewel hidden within your soul. For it is in believing this that your heart will no longer fear the unknown. You will not panic at the winds of adversity, because you will know nothing can bypass my protective arms. Even when you cannot understand why I allow something, you will be able to rest in this truth. I am the one who loves you, and everything I do is for the ultimate good. My beloved, every trial, whether bitter or silent, plays a part in your spiritual transformation, and in that process, my name is glorified. Not because I need praise, but because when I am exalted in your life, you are also lifted up. My glory does not crush you, it sets you free. It does not bring you down, it causes you to rise, stronger and more radiant than ever before. And when others look at your life, when they see how you walk through pain yet remain in peace, how you endure without complaint yet remain grateful, they will see me in you, and their hearts will be lifted as well. Let these words take root deeply in you, like seeds sown in fertile ground. Don't just hear them once and let them pass like the wind. Return to them, especially in quiet moments, when your mind is no longer distracted by life's noise. Those are the moments when your soul becomes the richest soil for me to plant truth into. Read these words again whenever you feel shaken. Whisper them as you prepare for rest, when night blankets your thoughts, so that every word becomes a lamp leading you into peaceful sleep. It is my hope that every word I speak here becomes a fresh stream flowing through your soul, cleansing every fear, every worry, every hidden burden. As my truth soaks deep into your heart, you will begin to feel a peace that does not come from circumstances changing, but from you being changed. You will sense a tender comfort, not loud or overwhelming, but like a gentle breeze that softly calms the hurting places within you. And when your soul is healed by the peace that flows from me, the very space around you will carry that same sacred imprint. You will become a dwelling place for my presence. Your home will be a refuge for the weary. Your eyes will carry the light of hope for the broken. Your words will be like sweet water to thirsty minds, not because you strive to do something great, but because I myself am living and flowing through you. Do not underestimate the power of stillness in my presence. Do not assume that only great acts produce great results. It is in the quiet, in that moment when you release all striving and grow silent before me, that my power moves most mightily. In the stillness, you will hear my voice more clearly. In the rest, you will receive renewed strength. And in the quietness, you will be reshaped into the person I destined you to be from the very beginning. My beloved child, the words I speak to you today are not meant to be kept as a distant reminder, but to be lived, day by day, hour by hour. Let them breathe within you. Let every word become the rhythm of your faith. And whenever you feel the darkness closing in, repeat them as a prayer, as a spiritual declaration that says, I believe in the one who called me, the one who guards me, and the one who never withdraws his promises. For I am here, and I will always be here, in every moment you live, in every step you take, and in every night you return to rest. Nothing happens without my seeing, and nothing in your life will ever be wasted when it is placed in my hands. Rest in that truth. Live with that confidence, and you will see, wherever you go, my peace will reign. For when you carry me in your heart, the world around you will feel it too. And that is how my name is glorified, through your life of peace, steadfastness, and overflowing hope. Beloved child, when your soul begins to rest in the truth that nothing happens outside of my loving permission, when you live with unwavering trust that every occurrence, whether small or deep, plays a role in fulfilling my divine purpose for you, that is the very moment I long to expand your spiritual vision to perceive a reality far beyond what the natural eye can see. There are things unfolding in the unseen realm, in the depths of the spiritual world, that, if you could see them, you would never again live in fear. For though you may not always feel it, I have commanded my angels to guard you like an invisible army. Every step you take, every hour of sleep, every whispered prayer is protected by a spiritual shield that no force of darkness can penetrate unless I allow it. When you walk through places that seem dangerous, when you feel weak, weary, and most vulnerable, know that my angels are still at work. They are my faithful messengers, and their eyes never leave you. They push back disasters you never knew were near. They lift you when your soul is about to fall. They fight in the dark so that my light may continue to shine around you. So never think you are alone, not even in the moments that feel the most isolated. My child, I am calling you to awaken the spiritual eyes that once sparkled within you. Do not live only by what your physical eyes can see. Let your heart be still, just for a moment, a sacred pause in the noise of life, and you will begin to notice what you've long missed. You will start to feel a light, not from the sun, but from the radiant presence of me surrounding you like everlasting arms. It is not a light visible to the natural eye, but a holy light that pierces through the deepest darkness. It is the first breath of a spiritual dawn, the awakening of your soul, when you realize that I am not just distant in the heavens, but alive in the smallest moments of your everyday life. And when you grasp this, everything changes. Fear no longer rules your mind. Worry no longer owns your heart. And hope, peace, and steadfastness will rise within you like a refreshing stream flowing from the highest place. Remember that I do not merely walk beside you, I go before you to make a way. I am not only present in your now, but I dwell in the future that your eyes have yet to see. Every path you step into, if led by me, has already been cleared of obstacles by my hand. And when you feel you have no strength left to take another step, that is when I am behind you, lifting you with the unshakable power of eternal love. There will be days when you feel nothing at all. There will be nights when your prayers seem to vanish into the void. But do not let fleeting feelings deceive you about eternal truth. I am still there. I do not change. I do not withdraw my promises. I do not grow weary in guarding you, even when you let go. You may feel as if you're walking through a barren desert, but in truth, you are being covered by a cloud of glory, one that only eyes of faith can see. I invite you into a deeper trust, a trust not built on emotion, but on sacred knowing that I am faithful. I do not slumber. I do not neglect the care of those who belong to me, and that includes you, the one I have called by name, the one I have chosen among many, the one I never lose sight of, not even for a moment, from the gaze of my love. Ignate! Let these words seep into every layer of thought within your mind. As you prepare to rest, as your thoughts settle after a long day, let my presence become your final refuge. Do not drift into sleep with a soul weighed down by worry. Let your thoughts of me, of my keeping, of my presence, of my light, spell every shadow in your heart, And as you lie down, believe this: all of heaven is still moving for your peace. May every word I whisper into your soul become a lamp to your path, a blanket of warmth for your spirit in the midnight hour, a stream of living water for the parched places within. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to hold fast to this truth: that I am here, that I have sent angels to guard you, that my light still shines, and that no power can suffocate your soul as long as you remain in my embrace. So then live each day with the awareness that you are wrapped in my divine being. Walk as one who knows they are loved, protected, and led. And as you do, not only will your life be transformed, but the atmosphere around you will carry the mark of heaven. For where my presence abides, there is life, there is peace, and there is light that never fades. And now, my beloved child, as your mind opens to the quiet yet mighty keeping of my hand, as your soul begins to attune to the sacred melodies echoing from the unseen realm, let my words continue to flow into the very roots of your being, so that you do not merely hear them, but live in the truth of who you are through my eyes. For the words I whisper to you are not fleeting sounds. They are eternal echoes, reflecting the very essence of who you truly are. Chosen, beloved, and forever engraved upon my heart. Let these words resound like an unending melody in your soul. Do not treat them as mere encouragements or declarations. They are not illusions to cling to in moments of weakness. They are truth, firm, immovable, and untouched by human opinion. This is what I see when I look at you, not through masks, not through behavior, but with a gaze that pierces through every layer and touches the most sacred part of you. This is you, your true self, unadorned, unpretending, not defined by the past nor by anyone's judgment. The world may reject you, abandon you, or turn its back on you. Those who once spoke of love may suddenly grow cold. There will be moments when you are left alone in the void of misunderstanding, crushed by harsh words or distorted by unloving gazes. But my child, in the midst of it all, I am still there. My eyes have never left you, and in that gaze, there is always mercy, gentleness, and an unchanging love. I do not love the image others expect you to become. I love you exactly as you are. I do not require you to be perfect before you come close to me. I have loved you since before you ever learned to love yourself. And that love does not fade with failure, is not withdrawn because of mistakes, nor shaken by your stumbles or wandering. You do not need to prove anything to be accepted by me. That acceptance was sealed long before your first cry. I see you even when others do not. When they look at you and see only flaws, weaknesses, and things unfinished, I see a journey, a miraculous transformation unfolding. I see you learning to love in a world that so easily turns cold. I see you choosing forgiveness, even though your heart has been wounded many times. I see you fighting, not to prove you're right, but to preserve the purity of your soul. And that, my dear one, is what matters most. Do not let anyone distort your true worth. Be cautious of voices that try to mold you into a foreign shape, for if you live to please the world, you will lose yourself. I created you uniquely, intentionally, with a purpose that matches no one else. Don't let false expectations cause you to shrink your true self or dim the light I placed within your soul. Your uniqueness is part of the grand design I am unfolding on this earth. Every distinct trait in you, every detail others may call strange or different, I wove it with holy intent. And when you understand this, when you begin to see yourself through my eyes, you will no longer feel the need to hide or bend yourself for validation. Instead, you will begin to live freely, free to be yourself, free to love without fear, free to walk with the confidence that comes from knowing you belong to me. You will no longer tremble under the gaze of others, no longer be shaken by critical words, for you will know that my name is written upon your forehead, and my love is the armor that shields your soul from every arrow the world may send. When the truth of your sacred identity takes root deep within, you will stop chasing worth through fleeting applause. You will know you are precious, not because others say so, but because I have declared it to be so. Return to me whenever you feel lost in false words. Come to me when you feel misunderstood or unaccepted. I will remind you of the truth about who you are. Until you believe it, until you remember, until you live with the full freedom and peace of a soul unconditionally loved. And then, as you continue walking in the light of this revelation, when you no longer live in the shadow of judgment or the weight of external expectations, I want you to understand something even deeper. I see every corner of your soul. Not one part of you is hidden from me. I know every wave within your heart, every unspoken desire you've not yet dared to voice. I understand the longings that flicker in your depths, the things that make your heart tremble with hope, but also hesitate in fear of failure. I see the deep longing within you, the yearning to rise, to live true to the potential I planted in you when I created you. I feel every tremor in your heart as you hunger for transformation, not just on the outside, but from within, from the very core of your soul. You long to live fully, authentically, beautifully, and meaningfully, and I, the one who formed you with a unique purpose, not only understand this, but walk with you to bring it to life. There will come a time, my child, when your heart will no longer seek fleeting changes or surface solutions, but will yearn for a transformation that is deep and lasting. You will come to me, not with complaints, but in surrender, with a whisper full of hope. Lord, I am ready. Please transform me. And in that very moment, I will be there. I have always been there. But in that moment you will see me more clearly than ever before, for I never force your soul, but wait in love until you truly open your heart and allow me to enter and do the deep work of renewal. That journey will not always be easy. It will require you to let go of familiar patterns, the old thoughts that once kept you bound in fear, the silent habits that slowly wore you down, and the mental loops that trapped you in pain. You will have to look within, face the parts you once avoided, embrace the broken pieces, and bring them before me so I can heal them. There will be moments when you falter, times when you doubt your own strength, but I will be there to lift you up, to remind you, you do not walk alone. Every time you release something that no longer belongs to you, you move closer to your truest self, the person I envisioned before you were even born. And then, a new day will come. Not just an ordinary morning, but an awakening from within, a spiritual dawn where you look in the mirror and no longer see yourself through the lens of failure or wounds, but through the light of the life I have placed in you. You will see your true essence, just as I have always seen you, a beautiful soul, intricately crafted in deep love, carrying within you light, tenderness, and an unshakable inner strength. You will no longer live striving to become someone else, but to return to yourself, to the true, worthy, and wholly lovable you. And in that journey, you will learn the most sacred truth, to embrace yourself with compassion, without judgment. You will learn to love your body, not because it meets the world's standards of perfection, but because it is the dwelling place of your soul, the temple I cherish. You will begin to care for your mind with words of kindness, no longer feeding it the old criticisms and doubts. You will nourish your soul with silence, with prayer, and with deep connection to me, where you are always welcome, and a miracle will unfold. As you treat yourself with reverence and love, your entire inner world will begin to shift. Every piece of your life will start to come into harmony. The things that once drained you will slowly fade. Toxic relationships will lose their grip. Forgotten dreams will come alive again, but this time they will be carried by faith and a deep knowing that you are worthy of living in that wholeness. You will no longer beg for love like one dying of thirst, but will carry love in every step you take, for you know that you have been loved since before time began, and that knowing will change the way you speak, the way you listen, the way you show up. You will no longer chase success to prove your worth, but will live with deep contentment because you know you are living truthfully, rightly, and in full alignment with me. And throughout that journey, I will never cease to whisper in your ear, "Keep walking, my beloved. You are returning to yourself, to me, to the purpose I planted within you from the very beginning. I will not abandon you midway. I will lift you when you're weary, wipe your tears when you stumble, and soothe your heart when it loses its way. For the love I have for you is not based on what you can do. It is based on who you are. The one I have called by name, touched with my hand, breathed life into, and chosen to reflect my light in this world. And when you live true to that identity, you will not only be healed, but will become the vessel I use to bring healing to others. This is the beauty of transformation. Not merely a reform of life, but a resurrection of the soul, a return to the original light, a return to the love that never changes. And this is the journey I have destined for you. And as you walk deeper into healing and transformation, as you begin to embrace yourself with eyes of love and reverence, that will be the moment I invite you into a new dimension of love. A love that does not end with yourself, but overflows to reach those around you. For true love, once deeply rooted within, can never be kept as something private. It will bud, expand, and become a flame that warms even the most lost souls beside you. My child, learn to cherish those around you, not because they are perfect, not because they always love you rightly, but because they too carry the same breath I breathed into you. They too are on their own journey, fumbling to find the light, struggling silently with wounds you may never know. When you begin to see others through the very eyes of mercy I use to see you, you will witness a profound shift in the way you love, forgive, and understand. But in order to truly love others, fully and unconditionally, you must first recognize the invisible worth that lives within you. Love arises from the deep awareness that you are worthy of love, not because of what you've achieved, but because you exist. When you understand this, love is no longer something you strive to produce, but becomes a stream that flows naturally. You do not give in order to receive, do not love to be loved back, but love because you have been filled to overflowing. And then, true wisdom will come, not as a form of knowledge that puffs you up or separates you, but as an awakening that softens your heart into kindness and gentleness. You will no longer see others with judgmental eyes, but with eyes of understanding, knowing that every person carries their own story, their hidden wounds, and longings too deep for words. Your heart will be tilled and softened by me, not a heart hardened by wounds, nor one closed off by fear of pain, but a heart transformed into a dwelling place of compassion, where others will find the listening, the comfort, and the peace they deeply long for. Yet even as I do this work in you, I will not let you forget the beauty blooming within yourself. True empathy is not the abandonment of self in service to others. It is the sacred balance of loving others from a heart full of grace while honoring yourself with deep and unwavering reverence. I do not call you to trade your essence for the approval of others, nor to forsake healthy boundaries for the sake of maintaining a relationship. On the contrary, I call you to love from a grounded place, a place where you know your worth, and because of that knowing, you can love others without losing who you are. In this sacred harmony, you will discover a love both tender and powerful, a love that needs neither control nor validation, but simply presence. My child, I invite you to pause throughout your day, even briefly, and look upon others with gentleness. Lay down your assumptions, your impulsive reactions, your unconscious defenses, and instead ask, what is it they need but cannot express? What burdens are they carrying that my eyes have not seen? As you begin to ask such questions, your heart will soften, and I will use you as an instrument of healing, not through noise, but through depth. You will begin to notice quiet shifts in your own spirit, greater patience toward those slow to understand, greater tenderness toward fragile hearts, and greater compassion toward yourself in moments of failure. Because you will come to understand that healing is a journey, not a destination. And every one of us is still learning to love, even when love feels difficult. One day, the gentleness and compassion I've formed in you will become a quiet fragrance that surrounds your life, making others feel safe simply by being near you. It won't be because you speak loudly of love, but because you live it. Through your eyes, your gestures, your words, and your silent presence. Others may not be able to explain the peace they feel when they're near you, but you will know. It is because I am living in you, through you, and because you have allowed me to shape your heart into a sanctuary of unconditional love. In that sacred space where love is no longer a concept but a way of being, you will find a deep and lasting fulfillment, not the kind that comes from grand achievements, but the kind that comes from becoming real. Real with yourself, real with others, and real with me. A soul that knows how to love, how to forgive, how to live, and how to pause long enough to see the beauty not just in the world around you, but in every breath you take. And now, as you take your first steps on this journey of returning to your truest self, as your spirit begins to heal and you start to see yourself through the light of truth rather than the distorted lens of your past, I want you to learn one more thing, something essential for growing in love and in faith. Do not let the threats of this world extinguish the light within you. Do not respond to darkness with fear, and do not allow anger to take the reins of your heart. I know there are moments when you feel attacked from every side. Hurtful words, unjust actions, things done out of envy or misunderstanding. I know it makes your heart ache and tempts you to retaliate, to defend yourself, to prove that you are not weak. But my child, do not let those things define you. Do not let the pain caused by others turn you into someone you were never meant to be. Vengeance is not the path I have for you. Because every time you let anger lead the way, your soul begins to lose its peace, and your heart carries a weight I never intended for you to bear. I did not create you to live in bitterness or resentment. I formed you to love, to forgive, to live above what this world can comprehend. So when you're hurt, when you're insulted, when you're treated unfairly, come to me. Pour out your heart before me. Bring every emotion, every disappointment, every tear you cannot share with anyone else. Place them in my hands. I do not reject your weakness. I do not demand that you be strong all the time. I invite you to come, not with a mask of strength, but with a heart of honesty. Tell me that it hurts. Confess that you feel powerless, wounded, angry. Let prayer become the place where you release all that weighs on your soul. I am the safest refuge for your spirit. And then, when you do that, when you choose to come to me instead of striking back at the world with the same wounds, I will move. You may not always see the change right away, but you will feel something miraculous unfold within. A sacred stillness will begin to cover you. It is a peace that does not come from resolution, but from the deep knowing that you are protected by the one who is greater than all that rises against you. My presence will become a soft cloak wrapping around you in the storm. I will whisper to you with gentleness, "Be still. I am here. You are not alone. I see it all." In that holy space you will find yourself again, not the version of you broken by pain, but the one upheld by faith and my unchanging love. My dear child, do not fear the threats. They cannot touch what I have placed within you. Do not let the darkness dim the light I have given you. What the enemy intends for harm, I can transform into good, but that only happens when you surrender the battle to me instead of clinging to the pain and trying to claim justice on your own. My justice is never delayed. I see every act, every injustice, every wound you've endured, and I will not let them pass without meaning. I am the God who avenges, but also the God who heals. I am both just and full of mercy. So do not let your heart be filled with bitterness. Let it be poured out in prayer, and let me fill it again with peace. Do not try to stand firm in your own strength. Lean on me. For I know you intimately, and I know exactly what is needed to restore you, not just on the outside, but to bring wholeness deep within your soul. Everything I have planned for your life carries a sacred purpose. My plans never lead to destruction, but always to restoration, success, and glory through heaven's eyes. What you're facing today may be hard, may be testing you, may be something you don't yet understand. But remember, I have never written a story without a beautiful ending. You are simply in the middle of the chapter, not the end. And when you believe it, you will live differently. You will begin to walk among those who once hurt you without carrying the burden of retaliation. You will start praying for them, not because they were right, but because you refuse to let your soul be bound by resentment. You will begin to see yourself grow, not by the standards of this world, but according to the royal dignity I have placed within you. I have called you out of darkness into the light. I do not only desire to heal you, but to use you as an instrument of peace in a world wounded and weary. Every time you choose to pray instead of react, to love instead of hate, you are continuing my story. The story that always, in the end, leads to triumph. So, my beloved child, let me be the place you run to. Do not fight alone in the shadows. Do not wear your anger like armor. Let me hold you, wipe your tears, and instead of revenge, let me transform your heart into a place where love prevails. And you will see, goodness will begin to chase after you, not because the world has changed, but because you allowed me to change you into one who lives in my power, in my light, and in the eternal rest I offer. Oh, my precious child, as you continue to grow in the awareness of your divine identity, as your heart becomes more steadfast in the peace I give, you will also come to realize that your path is not one paved with roses. There will be days when the winds rise against you. There will be moments when darkness tries to pull you back, and adversaries will appear. They will not only try to stop your steps, but also attempt to wound the most sacred parts of you. Your dreams, your identity, and your faith. There will be those who do not understand you, who do not accept you, or who deliberately misrepresent you. They will try to extinguish the fire I have kindled in your soul, to blur the dreams I placed in your heart from the very beginning. At times, they will not only insult your actions, but attack your very presence, your existence, and your worth. You may feel small, under attack, misunderstood, or even cast aside, but, my child, in those very moments, remember this: I see it all. Not a single word that wounds you escapes my eyes. Not one hidden plot to tear you down is beyond my knowing. And I am not the one who watches without acting. I am your defender, your warrior, the one who protects what I have sown deep within your soul. You are not fighting alone. Every time the forces of opposition rise, I have already been there, before they ever made a move. I have placed you within the radiance of my divine protection, through which no arrow can pierce unless it passes through my permission. You cannot stop people from misunderstanding you. You cannot silence every slanderous word. But this you can choose: to hold fast to your faith and remain rooted in the foundation I have built within you. For true strength is not found in reaction, but in standing firm in your core being. Divine stability does not come from controlling your surroundings, but from knowing exactly who you are in me. Even if they hurl lies, criticism, or deceit toward you, those arrows will not pierce your heart when it is shielded by the holy armor I have given you. My child, that armor is not a sharp weapon to strike with, but a solid defense to keep you from being shaken. It is woven from my promises, from my unchanging love, from truth that cannot be distorted. When you clothe yourself in that armor, you do not need to prove yourself through hurried words or impulsive actions. It will be your calm in the storm that confounds the world. It will be your peaceful gaze in the face of judgment that silences your accuser. I know there will be times when your heart feels weak, when harsh words slice through your memory, reopening wounds you believed had long since healed. I know that seasons of isolation and misunderstanding may cause you to question your worth, but I want you to understand this: you cannot be brought down by the voices of man when you have already been exalted by me in the Spirit. Your name is engraved in heaven, and your value is not defined by the crowd, but by the Creator who formed you. So when storms of accusation rise against you, do the one thing I am calling you to do: take refuge in me, draw closer. Do not retaliate in anger, and do not waste your strength trying to justify yourself. Instead, step quietly into my presence and let me speak on your behalf. Fight your battles and defend the truth that lives within you. You do not need to respond to everything, for when you are still in me, I will cause your voice to resound louder than any opposition. My beloved child, it is in these painful moments that you will learn one of life's most precious truths. True maturity is not shaped by applause, but by how you endure rejection. It is when you are opposed that you discover how deeply your faith has taken root. These trials will refine you, strengthen you, and shape you into someone more resilient, more grounded, and more unwavering in the divine calling I have placed upon your life. You do not need to conform to anyone else to be accepted. You only need to be who you are in me, strong, humble, honest, and full of light. Keep walking in truth. Keep your heart clean. Keep following the leading of my Spirit. Those who rise against you today may one day be used by me to testify of the truth I have placed within you. They may not understand you now, but they will not be able to deny the work I am doing through you. And even if the world turns its back on you, I have chosen you. Even if others doubt, I still trust you. Even if some try to pull you down, I have already seated you in a higher place, in a sacred realm untouched by human voices. I am not training you to stand with worldly power, but with the quiet, unshakable strength of a soul maturing in truth. So do not be afraid. Do not let threats shake your foundation. Do not let criticism rob your heart of its innocence. Keep moving forward. Keep loving. Keep living with purity of heart. I go before you to prepare the way, and I walk behind you to protect it. I stand beside you as your shield, and I dwell within you as your strength. No arrow will pierce your soul when you are hidden under the shadow of my wings. And when the storm has passed and the noise has faded, they will look back and see that you still stood, not because you were stronger, but because you knew where your refuge was. And in that moment, your silent endurance will stand as a living testimony to the world. The enemy may aim his bow, but he cannot defeat a soul that belongs to me, for that soul is protected by a light that cannot be extinguished. The light that comes from me, the one who called you, chose you. Now, offer this prayer to me. Lord, open my eyes that I may see your sacred presence in every tear. When my soul is heavy, remind me that someone has wept for the pain I've hidden. May such compassion become a bridge that leads me to healing and unfading hope. Lord, in the moments when I feel utterly alone, remind me that you have seen it all. You have looked into the sorrow behind my eyes and heard the sobs I could not voice. Step into the darkest corners of my heart and fill them with the light of your unconditional love. Lord, heal my broken heart with the gentle nearness of your presence. When I no longer have the strength to speak, let your Spirit draw near, touch the hidden places within me, and bring a comfort beyond all human understanding. Lord, when someone sheds tears because of me, I know I am not invisible. Give me the courage not to withdraw into silence, but to open my heart and receive the love from you and from those you've placed beside me as living witnesses of divine mercy. Lord, if empathy is a gift from heaven, help me cherish it. Open my heart to see that I am worthy of love, and that your love is seeping through every crack in me, restoring all that has been broken. Lord, I need you now more than ever. In the tear-soaked nights and the days without direction, don't let me mistake silence for abandonment. Open the ears of my spirit, that I may hear your tender whisper amid the vast stillness. Lord, help me release my fears, so I won't shut myself away from love. Grant me the courage to lean into the arms you've sent, and to recognize that in these sacred connections, your grace becomes most visible. Lord, calm my heart and silence the voices of shame and self-blame within. See me in my truest form, broken, fragile, and touch every wound with a love that does not judge, a love that holds and heals. Lord, give me spiritual eyes to recognize your presence in those who quietly love me. Teach me to honor their hidden tears, to know that I have not been forgotten and that I am more cherished than I ever believed. Lord, use my silent tears to water the barren fields within. Transform the pain I once carried into living water flowing from mercy, so that one day I too may become a source of comfort for souls thirsting for hope, as I once did. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. If you love the Lord, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any life-giving messages from Him. Together, we will grow in faith and live a life fully immersed in His love. Amen.